looking like you're gonna be getting like all this money now. Like, I gotta work. There you go. No, it's like, oh, this is weird. I'm actually doing this in front of my stepfather. Well, technically he's driving away, but you can probably see me in the rear view talking at a phone. I don't think my family actually knows what I do. That's not true. There's no way that they can't know. And the reason I'm saying it is because I remember having this conversation with my mother years ago. About like 5 years ago. Like right shortly after I got here. Maybe, I'd say it'd have to be within the first year that I was living here. And I was more vocal about what I do. And she had said to me about, she's like, well, I don't know, why don't you like build, this was actually one of my favorite times ever with her. She's like, I don't know why you're not like online, like trying to build up a presence or something like that. I said, and I looked at her, I'm like, how do you know I'm not? That completely caught her off guard. She's like, fair enough. So she doesn't really question me. She doesn't get on my ass about things. And I know it's like 5 years, but I don't like the rush. Not that I don't like the rush. It's just that I have that vision. Like, the bigger the vision, the longer it takes to fucking put it together, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's easier to make a cup of coffee than it is to fucking make a souffle. Notice he said sometimes. You don't seem so fucking angry today. What's going on? Oh, that's because I forgot to take the phone with me yesterday. I lost my shit, and it was delicious. I wish I had. Actually, no, I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think I would have been able to get out everything that I had gotten out of me yesterday had I had the phone on me, because believe it or not, this thing's a little bit of a crutch. It's difficult. It's not easy. It's not as easy as you would think to really like get stuff out of me when I have somebody watching, even if that person's me. Like, I can only go so far with this. Like, if I turn this off, I can go to a different place. I mean, I try to. I'm trying to get used to it, but at the same time, it's like when I'm by myself. When I'm by myself, I can channel who I need to channel. And I can talk to who I need to talk to. But for some reason with this thing, I mean, granted, this is like, I don't know, this is more like having a fucking documentary crew with me. It's like I'm putting on a fucking show. And I guess in a way it is. When I'm by myself, though, there's no show. It just is, I suppose. It's a different thing. I guess the only way to catch it, the only way to really see me in like my full power, is to be watching when I don't know. Hidden cameras, that makes sense. But no, I'm happy today. I have my first client, and it's not pro bono. But practicing something I learned. I'm practicing the 12th insight. The law of truth, law of connection, and the law of karma. So I have a friend who, we talked about her working with me on, fucking working on as coach, mentor, guide, helping her fucking get her shit together. We talked about it like a couple weeks, like maybe a month or so ago, and I just put it in her head that I don't normally do it, but I kind of feel like I have to. I don't normally like working with people, but she actually reached out to me the other day, and just to let me know that she was still considering it, but she had an incident at work, and it kind of left her like she couldn't really afford it at the moment. So I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking about, like, I've been reading The 12th Insight by James Redfield, and The 12th Insight is, I'm going to presume that you've read the Celestine Prophecy, the 10th Insight, the Secrets of Shambhala. So the 12th Insight is a little bit unique in the sense that the 12th Insight is composed of what's called 12, or technically 11 integrations. And as the individual integrates these principles, once they integrate all 11 principles, the 12th just is. It's kind of like Voltron. When you put them all together, the greater whole, the greater collective is the 12th. Because they work in unison with each other. And that's kind of the basis of the story. I remind you, I'm only on the fucking fourth chapter. I'm being a little bit presumptuous and kind of just basing that off of everything that I've put together so far. That the book puts together so far. But it's good. I mean, like all of the other ones, there's valuable fucking insights that go along with that stuff. I mean, if you haven't read the Celestine Prophecy, I'd get on that. And if you're the least bit familiar with, like, the spiritual awakening process, like, that book, it lays it out. Just, it doesn't leave much room for what happened. It doesn't really leave much. Speaking of, look for synchronicity. So, one of the first integrations, the first integration of the 12th Insight is to regularly be on the lookout for synchronicities, formerly known as coincidence. Oh, you know what? But that kind of goes back to, like, the Celestine Prophecy. Like, the first insight is to become aware, consciously aware of the coincidences, and to finally ask yourself. To finally pose yourself to the question, like, how many times a coincidence got to happen before it's not a coincidence anymore? Meaning, like, how many times do coincidences have to happen, just in general, where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Because when we talk about a coincidence, I'm saying, like, I'm speaking for everybody, but I feel like I am. It's like everybody knows that when your coincidence happens, like, for one, it's not the only time it's ever happened. Chances are it's happened multiple times throughout the course of your life. And it's not just like little things either. It's like, what the fuck? How the fuck did... Alright, maybe that was... Alright, that was just... That's my mind just playing tricks on me. That didn't really happen. Sometimes I think about 6 impossible things before breakfast. Every synchronicity is just a coincidence. It's a random coincidence. That's an impossible thing. So that's kind of like what the first integration is all about, is to be consciously aware of it, because you can go through all 11 fucking insights, and you can actually see them within your life, and that's the point. That's the point of the book. That's the point of the book series, is not just to entertain, but to actually educate you on what the fuck is going on around you. It's supposed to be telling it in a way that's relatable. In a way, like to actually be able to relate your own experience to what's happening in the book. Because if you relate your own experience, your personal experiences with what's happening in the book, you start to go, what the fuck? I know exactly what the hell is going on, because that's what my life looks like. Just not so action-packed. Well, no, I mean, it is. It's just not like that. It's a little bit different. I could see it, though. I could see it in my own experience. And that's kind of the point of it. You gotta understand, too, it's like, look at it from the perspective of that George Lucas was, the force was flowing through George Lucas when it inspired him to write and direct Star Wars. And even when Disney took over, the force that exists within the spirit of Disney said, all right, we're going to take this bitch to the next level. See, where things start to fall apart is if you're not applying like a spiritual, divine aspect to things. Like, yeah, of course, it's just like, it's a coincidence. Doesn't mean anything. If you're not going to put any meaning to it, then no, it doesn't mean anything. It's only as meaningful as you're willing to give meaning to it. Like, I was having this fucking back and forth debate with this dude about fucking the existence of God. I say, if you want proof of God, stop asking people. Ask God. Go right to the source. God, can you show me evidence? Can you reveal yourself to me in a way that I understand? Be it through some synchronistic event that only I would be able to go, holy shit. And you know what's funny is, like, as I'm talking about this, as I'm saying that, like, my mind is going to the other day when I was back here. Again, I didn't have the phone with me. But I was going on my walk trail, and I was going to the rings, and there was this dude coming the other way, and I don't know, I got this weird feeling when I saw him. He had a big beard, and he reminded me of like a Viking dude. So I just had this sense that, how do I put it? I had a sense that he was interesting. And that there was some kind of connection. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but just something kind of spoke. It was like an internal ping. Well, also, what was going through my head at the exact moment, now that I'm putting myself back there, is I don't like working on the rings when there's people around. Like, because I do those one-arm pull-ups, I don't like people looking at me doing that shit. Why? Because one, I ain't doing it for you to watch. And I just get this, like, icky feeling when there's people around. Not that I don't do it, I have done it when there's people around. I just don't like doing it. I did it once in front of my mother. I was just really uncomfortable. And one of my brother's friends, and I told him, I was like, listen, you can turn around for this. You don't have to watch this. Because, of course it's fucking impressive. I only do 5 to 6. But the point of it is to do it. Because it's hard. It's the same reason why I write with 13 pens. Because it's difficult. It's a fucking challenge. Like, it should be impossible. Mind you, everyone defines impossible differently. Because the idea is, oh fuck, if I could do that impossible thing, what other impossible thing can I do? Exactly. So when I went over there, like, this dude was coming the other way, and when I went to the rings, I kind of put my back towards it, because I don't want, I just want to be alone. And I did my first thing where I just kind of hold on and I hang, I just let my body drop, I let the gravity kind of pull me down, and magnetism, whatever you want to call it. And then the dude comes, not that I mind it, the dude comes over, and he's like, oh, so you fucking hanging from the rings, huh? Yep, that's what I do. And we started this conversation. We got on this really at least like this 20-minute conversation. It was pretty good. Talking about spiritual paths, but also like personal development type of goals and techniques, ones that I use, shit like that he does. He was telling me about Kundalini yoga. I was explaining to him and demonstrating for him like rage fucking rituals, and it was pretty cool. The dude was fucking cool. I liked him. Now, I mean, at the same time, we did get into the whole synchronicity thing and coincidence, not coincidence, it was synchronicity, and hey, the universe brought us together for a reason. Yo, yeah, maybe so we can do stuff later. What? I didn't say all that. I told him I do a lot of writing on social media. Oh, you know what? That's something we can do together. What? That ain't something that we can do together. That's something I'm just saying. That's what I do. There was a lot of like, And then when she was done, like, all right, come here, man. And he gave me a hug, which, one, I don't mind, but I feel like, I think everybody wants to have sex with me. And I'm really against homosexuality, for me. I mean, I don't give a fuck what people do. People can be gay all they want. I'll hang out with gay people. We'll go to the gay club, we'll get some drinks. But I'm not gonna let you touch me in that way. Like, and when he came in to hug me, I had this weird feeling, like, oh, this motherfucker wants to kiss me. I don't know why. It was just this feeling I got. I'm not saying that he did. It was just a feeling like, well, maybe it was you that wanted to kiss him. Maybe. But I don't approve of that. To me, it's an abomination. For me, when I think of the idea of it, it's like. But for some reason, I don't know. I'm not. Well, also keep in mind, I'm not used to people wanting to fucking hug me. It's weird. But again, we had a really good conversation. We did have a good connection going for a minute. Do give me his number, but my phone don't work, so we'll see. Then he said something about bimbo. He was a real estate agent in Florida, and I was explaining how I had succeeded at taking the test. I succeeded at showing up and taking the test. I succeeded at being 11 points under a passing grade. But then he said something about how even bimbos can pass the test. And that just turned me off. I was like, the fuck? My inner feminine didn't like that. It just kind of like, the energy dynamic went from, yeah, no, I don't think so. But the reason I brought that up was because of the fact that the conversation went in the way that it did, and I realized, like, when I have random encounters like that, seemingly random encounters like that, like I go into it. I get into myself. I get into what I do. I get into how I do it. I fucking love that. I love talking about myself. And I could tell from our exchange that dude, he was at a point in his life where it was beneficial for him to meet someone like me so that he can see, kind of get a different perspective on things. Because I could tell that he held a lot of stuff in and a lot of resentments towards himself. And he had even said that he needed to improve on being honest with himself. Listen, I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm not saying that there's not that inside of me. It's inside of everybody. It just doesn't manifest like that. That's all I'm saying. Why? Because I don't have to. I got my own. And that's why I have a mirror for. Like, I don't need any of that shit. That's not shit. I mean, some people are into it. Some people just don't like ham. You know what I mean? I've tried it. It's just it doesn't resonate with me. And it wasn't a bad experience. Like, I tried it. I genuinely tried it. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. Just respect it. That's all. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have respect for it. I'm just saying, like, you know, some people like to stick hooks in their back and like hang from the hooks. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. The same principle. It's like, I get it. Like, I respect it. Like, there's people who walk around that got fucking hooks through their dicks, things through their nipples. That smell. It smells really nice. Tattoos on their asshole, like, hey man, I feel it. Do your thing, do you. I don't know, there's like a very floral scent. I've been having like I watched The Passion of the Christ the other day, and things have been kind of like, bye-bye. I'm kind of fully embracing this whole Christ, Derek, Antichrist, the toxic thing. It's, yeah, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. I guess it would make sense to anybody who's empathic or sensitive in any way, shape, or form, like spiritual empathy. Like, if you understand that concept. There's something, I was just in a place the other day, and it was actually on the day of the new moon, and something just popped in my head to see if I could find the Passion of the Christ. And right away I found it on some fucking website. I forgot the name of it, but the whole fucking movie was there. All right, it was just it was like the fucking first Google search. And oh wow, that was an experience. So see, something about me, like, I don't know how this is with other people. Like, when I watch a movie, I play a video game, or I read a book, like, I'm there. Like, I feel everything. And it can be difficult sometimes. It can be challenging sometimes, depending on the movie. Like, especially like spiritually sensitive people, they'll tell you, like, don't be careful of the content that you consume, because that energy, though it's acting, I get it, but that energy, the energy is still there. You know what I mean? Like, a good actor, they're not just in that role, they are that person. Like, you watch the fucking Joker, when Heath Ledger played the Joker, like, that nigga is the Joker. That ain't Heath Ledger no more. that movie, The Passion of the Christ, when you're watching that, you're watching a reenactment of Jesus Christ being beaten and tortured and tormented and fucking tarred and feathered. That is like one of my biggest fears. And watching that movie again, I mean, I've seen it before, a long time back, and yeah, that movie makes you fucking cringe. But watching it again with the eyes I have now, I felt every fucking blow. Like, it got to a point where, like, I was fucking begging to fuck. I was praying that I would die so I could just get out of that fucking movie. Like, I couldn't turn it off. Like, I had to sit through the entire thing. And it was just, like, because I got it. It wasn't just torture porn. Like, I was watching it to kind of get into his mind and see where he was at and what he was doing. And fuck, man. Like the Passion of the Christ. When you have a passion for something, you know you have a passion for something if you're willing to fucking die for it. That's what people will say. Coaches, mentors, guides. Are you willing to die for your passion? Are you willing to die for that thing that you're doing? Because if you're not, you might as well keep your day job. That nigga was willing to die. And in the most painful, excruciating, terrifying way possible. And he just fucking took it. Give me more. Like, it was incredibly intense. It put my emotionally and mentally and spiritually intense, and it fucking, and physically too, because that movie, it shredded my nervous system. My nerves were fucking beyond redline. After the movie was over, I had a huge breakdown. I fucking cried like a motherfucker. I got a lot of shit out. And over the past few days, I've just been getting a lot of stuff out because of it. And you don't have to fucking buy into the miracles and the touching and the dead people coming back to life. You don't have to buy into it. No one's telling you gotta do that. Look at it from the spiritual perspective. Spiritual Jesus is a lot more relatable than the exclusive Son of God Jesus. They're two different stories. And if you recognize what this fucking dude was actually doing, like, it makes a lot more sense. And what was he doing? What he was doing was he was showing you that God doesn't reside within just the church, the temple. Like, you didn't need to be a member of the congregation to receive the benefits of God's everlasting love. God exists beyond just the temple. You don't need a high priest or priestess to guide you towards God. God's there for you to find. And that's why Islam is what Islam is. Islam isn't, I mean, people have this, non-Muslims have this preconceived notion that they know what Islam is. But you don't. You don't know. And you don't have to read the entire Quran to understand it. It's actually pretty simple. It's within the first, 10 pages. It's a very early passage, and it says, don't trust the Jews and don't trust the Christians, because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you unless you're following their doctrine. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. No, but it does say, it literally says, don't follow the Jews or the Christians, because they don't care about you if you're not following their doctrines. you can find God on your own. And that's the principle of Islam. Is like you don't need like you don't need someone to guide you to God. You can do it yourself. You can connect to God without a middleman. But that's like out there thinking for some people. Like I'm in this atheist group on Facebook, and like holy shit, like it makes I can't help but wonder if it's just that people are so their egoic biases are that strong that they will not. I've been posing a challenge a couple times, but it always gets the same response from people. If you want proof of God, don't ask me to give it to you. Ask God himself. Ask God to show you a sign of his existence that only you will understand. I'm not giving into that delusional thinking. What? Why? The presupposition that God exists without evidence is within itself a fallacy. Says who? Like, I'm not asking you to go to fucking church every Sunday. I had this dude, he actually got, he almost kicked, I think he's about to kick me out of the group. He's one of the admins. He starts out, I was getting threatening, I'm preaching, and I get it, but I'm trying to explain to him, like, he goes, are you willing to accept that there is no God? Yeah, no problem. But the problem is, every time I do that, God finds a way of presenting me evidence in such a way that I have to go, fuck, he did it again. I say he, but he, she, God, goddess. They did it again. They got me. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Every time I get out, they pull me back in. I don't know. But it's like Jesus said, like it's for fucking he who has fucking eyes to see. I say fucking a lot, I know, but it helps me. I get nervous when I talk to people sometimes, and cursing helps me it helps me break out of that shell. I get comfortable eventually. I'm really subdued today. Like, I don't know. I guess it's just that I had so much over this past week. It's been like really intense. A lot of emotional purging, which has been coupled with a lot of mental breakdowns and buildups. So it's not that I'm tuckered out. It's just I think a lot of the piss and vinegar kind of neutralized, which is fine. I can deal with it. I don't mind being mellow. Like this past week, like I've been, oh my god. Even yesterday I lost my shit. I had to, I still don't have any money. In the moment. I can't go out and buy anything that's worth more than 27 cents. I don't have credit cards, I don't do that. But fuck, man. But so I'm in a little bit of a strange situation, which is fine. That's the point. I have to go through this. These things too must pass. Because I have to do what nobody else can do. And what that is just like where Jesus was allowing himself to be fucking beaten to death, beaten to a fucking bloody pulp. I mean, the man was literally beaten into chop meat. I recommend smoking a little bit of pot and then watching The Passion of the Christ by yourself. Because if you can pull that one off, especially during his punishment. I mean, the whole fucking movie is punishment. It's fucking 2 hours of a guy being broken. These guys spend 2 hours trying to break this guy, and they can't do it. And that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. You cannot let external forces break you down. Is that so difficult of a concept to grasp with people? What is the major? I mean, yeah, in the New Testament, Jesus got a lot of really nice and happy teachings, but the real lesson, the real mission, the real purpose is to demonstrate: do not let a motherfucker step and break you down. How many people will acquiesce and capitulate to the demands of other people because they're afraid for their own financial well-being, their physical well-being, mental, emotional? People will put up with just about anything to avoid conflict, to avoid physical harm, to avoid emotional and mental distress. People will take it, and that's the irony of it, is that people will accept mental, emotional, physical abuse to avoid mental, emotional, and physical discomfort. What? Or that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is people fucking just get off on it and they love it. Oh my God, I love this motherfucker abusing me. Now, I'm a victim of narcissistic abuse. When I was working with Uncle Hugo, I was a victim of narcissistic abuse. By the regional manager was exploiting me. He was using mental and emotional manipulation tactics, and was even victim blaming. Which is what I vented to HR yesterday, and it felt so good. I wrote about an hour and a half to 2 hour essay to my HR contact, just unloading everything. Not everything, because I told her, I'm like, listen, this may not be the last time this happens. So if there's somebody else I need to go to with this stuff, just let me know, because it's not right, and I refuse to burden myself with continually carrying this weight, because it's not mine to carry. So I'm gonna be returning it to sender, and if you are not the person to share it with, then please be my guest and direct me to whom is. And she never did, so I have to presume that the next time it comes up, just, hey, go with it, man. And so I will. And this is the way. Huh. And huh? No, I've been seeing this here. I didn't know what this was. This little memorial people made. I've been seeing these flowers. I don't normally come this way anymore. I've been cutting through this shortcut, but I'm seeing all these flowers, and it's actually a memorial set up for a little girl. Is she little? 18? She's 18. It's not a little child, but... And there's some water bottles here, and they say, please water the flowers if the soil is dry. Thank you. So, I guess I'm just determining whether or not I should water the flowers. I mean, I'm here. Oh, fuck it. It's not every day I find myself in this situation, right? Hey, remember that thing I was just saying? Remember that thing I was saying before, like, about, God, show me a sign. That's what I'm talking about. It's just a coincidence. Ain't no, now, okay, let's presume that there is no such thing as coincidences. Everything that you think is a coincidence is really not. Everything you think it has ever been a coincidence is actually God speaking to you. Ah, shit. Whoa, hello. Alright, well, I guess I got my sign. I got it, like... That's good. I mean, I accept it. Thank you, Emma. But... So... Shit. Did I push that? No, I'm good. I don't know, I just got fucking distracted. Uncle Hugo, abuse, losing my shit. Oh, Jesus. Right. Jesus. Taking abuse, don't let motherfuckers bring you down. Do not let external forces fucking bring you down and pull you down. Like, I mean, I've been back and forth with Uncle Hugo for 3 months now. And yesterday, I just kind of let loose on it. I mean, I don't take the Jesus route where it's like, all right, hey, listen, I forgive. I told him last week, I hadn't heard from the company in 2 weeks. Or a week and a half or 2 weeks. And I was like, I'm just tired of it. So I emailed everybody. I emailed the HR, I emailed the vice president, I emailed the compliance department, and I emailed the ombudsman, the third-party lawyer that the company has on retainer. And I let them know, like, hey, listen, I forgive it. But this is ridiculous. I'm going to be the bigger person and go, I forgive all the money. Don't even worry about it anymore. It's money. You know what? You want to give me that hard of a time for it? That means that you probably need it more than I do. Go. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunities. I appreciate everything I've learned. And I appreciate all the business experience that I'm getting from this. Because also keep in mind, I'm a businessman. I'm a one-man operation, a very small operation, and I'm going on my 3rd year. I'm only 3 years old. Like, I'm still new. Part of the reason I went to go work for Hugo Boss wasn't just for the paycheck. It was for the experience. It was for the business experience. When I was there, like, I learned more about business over the course of those 18 months that I could have learned in fucking school. You're not going to get the same experience there. So, seeing how business practices are in a company that big, it's almost 100 years old. Hugo Boss is going to be 100 years old next year. Next year or the year after. So to actually be able to work with them on a business-to-business experience, like that's huge. Like I saw Hugo Boss as like a mentor. The spirit of Hugo Boss as the mentor to the spirit of the toxic order. Like I was there as an apprentice, as an intern, I guess. I mean, granted, everyone I work with, they're just employees. They're employees. They're little people. They're there for a paycheck. I know they think no, they don't give a shit about their job. They just want to get their money, go the fuck home. They don't want to deal with all the bullshit. But unfortunately, I'm a bullshit type of person. I do. Yeah. And it's not that I'm a bullshit person. It's like I want to get into the nuts and bolts of it. I want to see how it works. I want to understand what's going on. And I got exactly what I was looking for. I saw the whole thing. And it's a lot of people who just don't give a shit about their jobs. They give a shit about the money. They give a shit about, like, getting paid. God gets that money. But that's all they give a shit about. Once you take the money out of the equation, and the equation falls apart. People don't give a fuck. It's not about being there for the experience. It's not there about learning to see what you can take away from it so that you can take what you've learned and bring it into what it is that you're doing. And that's literally what I was doing. I want to learn everything I can from a business that's in an industry that I'm not a part of. Find your answers in all the wrong places. Like, I have a subscription with Masterclass, and what I like to do is just watch. I just like to watch the classes and take in what these people have to say about what it is that they do, because I like to watch and listen to people talk about what it is that they're passionate about doing. The question: would you be doing what you're doing if you weren't being paid to do what you're doing? Chances are the answer is going to be no. So why aren't you? I got bills to pay. I got a mortgage. I got fucking child support. I got alimony. I got all this bullshit. Okay? So what? And then what? So what you're saying is you're willing to sacrifice your own happiness to satisfy someone else's need for money so that you can maintain a skewed sense of comfort by being constantly uncomfortable, constantly stressed out, constantly fucking anxious. Like, what? What? I don't get it. If you're gonna put yourself through that much fucking torture, you might as well do it doing something that you fucking like doing. Like, this is kind of torturous. Like, this is not the most comfortable thing in the world. I know I make it look easy, but it is to me. That's my thing. I also fucking just finished a book. I finished a book writing with 13 pens with my left hand. I'm right-handed. It took me a fucking 5 weeks to do, but I did it. It was uncomfortable as shit. I had to position myself in a way that, like, the muscles in my neck had to do shit that they weren't used to doing, so it would hurt. It would hurt all up in here. But it didn't just stop there. The pain actually came up into my skull and came around into my face right there. So it depended on how long I was writing for. I had one session. My longest writing session was 2.5 hours with no break. I had to kind of like jar my head over to this side just to allow all that pain to break up and spread out, because it was just hurting so much. But also keep in mind, I'm using muscles that I'm not used to. I'm using muscles that I'm not used to using in ways that they're not used to being used. So I had to kind of break things. Oh my god! And I've been lying in bed for fucking a couple days. Blah, 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 blah. But I did it. I finished it. I was going to do the whole fucking notebook. I was going to do fucking 200 pages. Mind you, it's a 100-page notebook. But I write small. I write 2 pages of text per line. So, in actuality, I'm putting 100 pages worth of content within 50 pages. So the idea originally was to do all 100 pages, technically 200 pages, writing with my left hand and 13 pens. But by the time it got to the end, like, I'm trying to do other shit. At the time I was trying to learn the basics of Python code, and also dive back into some old books that I had kind of put on the back burner, but then also continue with my writing. And this, reading other books. I'm juggling like 5 books. I have Ritual and Doctrine of High Magic, Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic by Ivan Eliphas Levi. I have Battle Royale, Fight Club, the 12th Insight. I had just finished the Book of Mistakes last week, and then like a few days prior to that, I just finished Jewish Wisdom for Business Success. I'm also reading The Secret, which I just started, which is actually pretty good. I just started reading another book by Palahniuk. Chuck Palahniuk. I just learned how to say his last name the other day. I've been reading the guy for fucking years. Palahniuk. No, it's Palahniuk. Didn't know that. Chuck Palahniuk. So I just got this other book by Chuck Palahniuk the other night. Consider this. Things in my writing life which changed, which everything, I don't know. It's a book on writing. He's a really good storyteller who knows how to hit the cringe nerve, which is something that I like to do. And so I don't tell stories though. I don't write fiction. I just do like basically freehand stream of consciousness, conscious flow, channeled automatic writing. I just let it fucking rip. I don't really pay too much attention to grammar. Not that I don't, but I use I a lot. I like this. I don't do that. I think that. Like I break up my sentences, but you'll see like 4 or 5 sentences in a row where I use I. I start the sentence with I, which is like a big grammatical no-no, but fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I'm not writing it to be fucking, I'm not writing it, you break the rules. Disrupt. Be a disruptor. It's kind of like the idea. Like this lady who, I had a subscription with Mind Valley, and I got to work with this lady, Mickey Agrawal. Fucking sick ass lady, she's badass. And one of the principles that she was teaching was like, be a disruptor. Whatever industry that it is that you want to get into, be a disruptor of that industry. It just happens to be that I want to get into the religious business. And yeah, religion is a business, but business is, see, well, now here's the cool thing, and this is something I had picked up on my own, but it was also something that was confirmed whilst reading Jewish wisdom for business success. Is your business is an opportunity for you to put your spirit, your soul, your heart into it. Your business is a place for you to practice your religion. I'm not saying Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, or any other like religion that you can name, put on a list, but I mean your personal religion, like your essence. What is it that you're doing? Like nowadays, people start a business because they want money. That's it. But here's the thing: if you're just doing it for money, keep your day job. Don't waste your own time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste anyone else's time, because if money's all you want, you're better off just keeping your job. What are you actually providing though? Like, what are you giving? And that's kind of part of, the 12th Insight too. It's about learning to live in your own truth, but actually, well, I mean that's also the third. What the fuck's the word? The fuck is that word, man? The third integration. By living in your own truth, the people who will benefit from it, the people who will benefit most from you, will come into your life. Which kind of leads me back to me talking about my first client. I feel like this one song has been looping. I hope not. Have I not been paying attention to that? Because I feel like it's like I haven't stopped listening to this one song. Oh my god, it has been. Holy shit. No wonder. I'm so busy talking, I didn't even realize I had this one song looping the whole fucking time. Jesus Christ. Yeah, good song, but oh my god. Bop that birdie 30, bop that birdie 30, bop. Like, enough already. Rabbit junk. Sorry. I didn't know you're so flexible. Yeah, I also have fists that are about as hard as concrete from punching trees. Fuck all that shit. I feel much better now the song's changed. See, but now here's the thing too. And this was actually something I had considered, and it wasn't until I was reading that book, Jewish Wisdom for Business Success. The Old Testament, Jews look at the Old Testament as a business model. That's literally what it is. And the book, what it presents is how to apply the wisdom of the Old Testament to business and life in general. Not just the one, but both. Because technically, fuck people, man. I hate being around people. I get all fucking like weird. Because technically, it's one and the same. Like my business model, my business is my business. My life is my business. I don't follow a conventional business model. No, not that I don't. How do you put it? It's not that I don't recognize the value of it, because I do. It's just I don't like doing what everybody else is doing. You know, man. It kind of makes it a little bit redundant. Well, yeah, because if everybody's doing the exact same thing, then what the fuck is the point of doing anything? New Testament. Jesus Christ. Matthew 7:13. Did you know that also? And this is funny. I just popped in my head the other day. Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone. When Harry and Hagrid are out collecting Harry's school supplies, they make a stop over to Gringotts to get some money. And after they get Harry's money from the vault, Hagrid goes. He has to go to vault. He has to go to Vault 713 to get the Sorcerer's Stone. You know what I mean? Which I just made the connection the other day. Matthew 7:13. This is a good one. Go through the narrow gate. Go through the narrow gate. Few people will enter it. And the road's gonna be bumpy. And it's gonna suck ass. But this is the way to life. Don't go through the wide gate. The road's going to be smooth. And many people will enter. But this is the way to death and destruction. If everyone's doing the same thing, what's the point of doing anything? If everyone's doing the same thing, do something different. Do the exact opposite of everybody else. If everyone's doing the same thing, what's the point of doing anything? So that you can do the exact opposite of everybody else. My client, Crystal, I'm giving her something that nobody else is going to be able to give her. It's literally, it's impossible. Because I don't have a plan. I don't have a model. I don't have a course schedule of things that I'm having her do. No, I'm just taking, based on all of the shit that I've done over my time working with myself, I'm just throwing some ideas out that make sense to me for her particular case. And I told her, she's having some hard time. I was saying this before, like she's kind of like not in a place where she could just like throw money around. That's fine, we'll get to that. But I said to her, I was thinking about it. Law of karma. Live my own truth. Nurture the connections I have with people by living my truth. And do what I believe is the karmically right thing to do. And so she reached out to me the other day to tell me that she wasn't going to be able to, like, she didn't forget about working with me. She's not going to be able to get to it for a little bit. She's going to be out of work. Last night while I was eating, I had this thought. I was thinking about, I've been having the third integration in my mind a lot lately. I've been taking advantage of it. Anytime I feel like I can give a little bit of myself to somebody else, I do it. And what I was thinking last night while I was eating was, you know, fuck it. In 5 years, I've worked with like over 150 people. I never made anyone pay me. Because I didn't feel that I was up to the task of it. So what I told Crystal was very simple. Don't worry about the money right now. If we do that good of a job with you, you're gonna get me people who are gonna pay me. And if it means that much to you, if it really does mean that much to you, that you pay me, then when you have it, give me what you think it was worth. What you can afford to give that you think it's worth. Easy peasy. I'm not gonna tell you what to pay me. It's simple. But I'm not gonna let that dictate what I do and don't do with her. I'm gonna fucking push her to the fucking limit. I'm gonna do my best to. That's my hope. I'm gonna push myself to the limit as well, because it's scary. Because trust me, I as perfect as I know that I am, like I still have moments of doubt. I have moments of like, am I doing the right thing? The only way to fucking do it is to do it, you know? And go, fuck it. I mean, if I wasn't supposed to be doing it, then I wouldn't be doing it. Then God wouldn't have presented me the opportunity to fucking do exactly what I'm doing. How about that? I see her, when I look at her, I see a dough girl. A dough boy. I had a client once. Francis. Oh, Francis. Love Francis. Francis was a fucking dough boy when I first got my hands on her. Over the course of a month, I turned Francis into a fucking piece of plywood. I hope she's doing well. I really do. And that's kind of what I want to do with Crystal. I want to take this dough boy but I want to turn her into a fine Japanese of steel. Able to fucking cut through any motherfucker. You see a challenge? You fucking cut that bitch in half. Or you fucking juggernaut your ass right fucking through it. But if you're a doughboy, what's gonna happen? You're gonna fucking try to plow through a fucking brick wall, you're just gonna splat. No, you're gonna be a fucking nuclear bomb. This girl that I worked with, technically I was her client, but she asked for some help the other day on marketing on Twitter. And you know what? You got this one motherfucker. Be persistent. Okay. Now here's some real advice. You want to work one. You want to work on Twitter. I got a lot of Twitter experience. Here's how you deal with Twitter. You deal with Twitter the same way that you deal with every other fucking situation in life. You walk in like you fucking own that motherfucking place. And you have to be fucking ready to kick slap the bitch out of anybody and everybody who's willing to fucking step the fuck up to you. And they will. Twitter is a cesspool of scum and villainy. That's why I fucking love that place. But you cannot be a fucking doughboy going into that fucking joint. You will be torn to fucking shreds. But you also have to explore. You can't just be fucking living in your own little fucking echo chamber. You gotta branch out, find out who the fuck is who's doing what, who's not doing what, and what everybody is doing differently than everybody else, in as many different fields as you can find. If you want to do marketing online, you have to do your own market research first to see what the fuck is happening. You're gonna do what everybody else is doing, or you're gonna do what everybody else is not doing. I choose to do what nobody else is doing. I treat my business like it's the fucking number one top global brand, the top 0.002% brand in all of the fucking universe. Crystal, my client Crystal, is the luckiest gal in the entire fucking world because one, I fucking hate working with people. Why? I hate people. What does that say about yourself? It says, to me, it demonstrates how much I love myself more than I love other people. Because I believe in my world that you should be throwing your money at me. I should be just getting money just for the fact that I live, just for gracing this world with my presence. Money should just be falling on me. I should be fucking every day. I should be able to fucking Scrooge McDuck swan dive into my mommy's pool because that's my new bank. That's where I keep all my coins and all my gems and rubies and ruples and dollars. And I just fucking every day swan dive into that bitch. And spit out gold coins. Ah, Derek McDuck. Derek McScrooge. You bet your ass. You just say there's your ass now? Yeah. Something my stepfather and my uncle say. And my brother and I, there's your ass now. You gotta do the thing with your pinky too. I don't know where they got it. I think it came from their grandfather. I think. But kind of like, I don't know. The way I look at it is like, just shit, here. There you go, asshole. What are you gonna do now? Here. I don't know how to explain it. It's like one of those things, like you know when to use it when you know when to use it. Like and then what? Kind of like that. Kind of like stuffing someone's face in their own shit. How you doing, man? Let's start this voice. People gotta think this dude is fucking out of his mind. They do. How did he nail that? I just do. I need food. I need money. Yeah, if Crystal, 11. If 1/11. If Crystal, when Crystal can pay me, she can pay me. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is fucking Uncle Hugo paying me at Jew school. Jew school owes me $777. Yeah, we'll dispute it. I'm gonna go to my bank, I'm gonna dispute. No, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. No, the Jew school, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Israeli School of Hebrew Studies. They didn't tell me that some guy, Mike, from fucking Wichita, was gonna be fucking teaching biblical Hebrew. Yeah, guys, I have a daughter, and I work all day. So, there's gonna be some days where I'm just like really tired. What? I thought I was gonna learn Hebrew from somebody from Israel. I ain't fucking dealing with that shit. Sorry, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. They did email me yesterday, well, you have a contract. I ain't got no fucking contract with you. I gave you authorization to dem my card. But because you gave me a shitty service, I want my money back. And they sent me an email confirming that my refund had been approved. 6 business days. We're on day number 8 now. So I sent the message to the bank yesterday, just letting them know, and I sent them a copy of the email as well. And they said, okay, if you want to come by and do some disputes. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that. And we'll see what happens. Because you know what? I'm not gonna take that shit. Now, my deal with God was very simple. I made a deal with God when I first signed up to that course, and and God. I don't know. Would I say that God didn't follow through? Follow through once. It was, okay, all right, this is scary, this is risky, but if I'm supposed to do this, then the money will present itself as soon as I need it. And it did, for the most part, except for this last time. I realized, no. And I was just so turned off by the first class that, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this. I'm not saying this is beneath me, but this is not what I paid for. That Jewish lady, that lady from Israel, she was pushing hard. And we connected too. That's what I was really upset about. Because she's giving me all this magical talk about Hebrew and just the depth and synastry of the language itself. And I'm familiar with Hebrew. I'm not unfamiliar with it. It's a really unique language. You can read it a multitude of ways. There's at least 4 different ways that you can read Hebrew. Every letter is a sound. Every letter is a concept. Every letter is a picture. But at the same time, every letter is also a number. What? You can read it you read it right to left, but you can, technically, read it left to right as well. I guess if we really want to fucking go hard, we could say that you can also read it up and down and up. You can read it any way that you want. It's that flexible. It's hieroglyphic, basically. It's Jewish hieroglyphics. And from what I understand, Hebrew came out of Egypt. Don't forget, the Israelites were Egyptian slaves for a time. It's funny, people don't put a lot of like credibility into this. People beat the shit out of Christianity though. People will fuck Christianity hard. Hard. People won't touch Jews though. I will. Well, Judaism and Islam, I think Judaism and Islam are like the perfect counterparts to each other. But then, so is witchcraft and paganism. Like, you gotta fit that in there too. Like, it's not that Abraham's God just came out of nowhere. He was the product of his time. He's the last. He's the last of his kind. Or was. You can argue that God is dead, but it's just like Lovecraft said, even dead gods dream. And technically we could argue that this reality is all taking place in the mind of God. But who's God? I don't know. Oh, me. It's you. You define your reality. God is the creator. God is the fucking ultimate architect. From a deep metaphysical, spiritual perspective, you are the architect of your reality. And if God is the architect of all things, and you are the architect of your own reality, then you are the vessel for which God resides. Which, by the way, is basically like literally how it is. Christianity is the only. Christianity treats God as this external force that needs to be worshipped. I'm gonna go. There's a little traffic jam I was exploiting. But yeah, Christianity is the only one that treats God as this external force. Never mind, I know. We're not talking about Islam yet. I mean, in Islam though, Jesus Christ is a Muslim. He's a prophet. He's a prophet that was able to connect to the divine force of the universe, the divine will of the universe. Like, I don't understand how that's difficult for people to grasp that. How long did it take you? 38 years, 42 and a half, 43 years. I mean, I'd be 43 in a couple weeks, but... Is that where Moses started? Yeah, pretty much. And that's also like how long the Antichrist will rule for. I mean, if you look at Moses and the Antichrist and Jesus, if you look at them as internal archetypes and evolutionary phases of the human consciousness, then yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Which you also have to recognize that, yeah, they did exist. I mean, it doesn't matter if they existed or not. I mean, how can you... If they didn't exist, actually, does it matter? Does it matter whether or not they existed? Tyler Durden is the product of the mind of Chuck Palahniuk. But that doesn't take away from the value of what Tyler Durden was talking about. And that's kind of this idea that I've been pushing in the atheist group I'm in. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, why are you continually arguing about the same thing? Like, you're going around in a loop, but you're ignoring the one blaring thing, the blaring problem. That's not even a problem. You're ignoring the fact that there's actually wisdom and insight to be taken away from these holy books. That's why they're holy books, because they're giving you a glimpse into the mindset of a civilization that no longer exists. You know? It's like, I wonder how things were back then. Well, here's a holy book. It'll tell you. This is the way. Look for synchronicity. Religion's evil. Okay, well, take the religion out of it. You don't have to follow it. Read the fucking book. Just read the book. Nobody says you have to live your life by it. That's up to you. Just fucking read the book, and you'll see that there's actual. I remember this one debate. It's a fucking echo chamber that I like to go in and just throw rocks around. So it's like, what's proof of Jesus? Like, give me evidence that Jesus Christ existed. Well, how about the Bible? You can't use the Bible as evidence that Jesus Christ lived. Why? Says who? Like, where are these rules coming from? I remember I was using physics to explain astrology once, and someone actually yelled, like, you can't do that. What do you mean? I just did it. What do you mean I can't do it? I just did it. What do you say? I can't do it because now it's like, oh, fuck. You can't do that. Why? Just like yesterday, fucking presupposing, you want proof of God's existence, ask God for evidence of his existence. I refuse to indulge such delusions. What? Oh, I'm not trying to convert you, bud. I'm trying to help you fucking open your fucking brain, you dipshit. And what are you so afraid of? What are you afraid of? That God's gonna fucking give you something? That you're gonna see something? And mind, you gotta also keep in mind that the people that are in this group, these are like the lowest level of simpleton. And I feel like an intellectual bully when I go in there. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with a healthy dose of skepticism. It's good for you. I do it all the time. I have to challenge myself and my own beliefs all the time. And the way you do that is just recognize, yeah, I'm talking shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Everything I know is wrong. Everything I think I know about the universe is wrong. Everything I think I know about God is wrong, and magic is wrong, and witchery is wrong. Everything I think I know about religion is wrong. Everything I think I know about atheism is wrong. There is no God, there is no devil, there was no Jesus Christ. Moses didn't exist. The sea didn't part. Egypt, it's just a coincidence that they talk about Egypt in the Bible. It's just a plot device for ancient storytellers. There you go. Feel better? Does that make you happy? Oh, that's what I said. That's what I was saying when the guy's like, this is threatening. I feel threatened. Yeah, I'm threatening your status quo. I'm threatening I'm challenging your belief system. This little fortress that you built up around yourself of bullshit and lies. I kind of pulled the linchpin out, and there's nothing you can do about it now, bud, because now everything's crumbling down around you. Because for one reason or another, I don't argue like the rest of them, and I don't follow the same rules. Like, don't come and tell me that what I said was a fallacy. The fuck does that even mean? What it sounds like is you're making up excuses. A straw man argument. How about this, nigga? I'll fucking straw man you. Tell me fucking straw man. You want to play by your rules, you can play by my rules. How about this? And that's how I approach those people. It's like, if you're not going to put the effort in, then don't say shit. Because you're just making yourself look stupid. You're making yourself look as stupid as you think that I look stupid, as you think I do. If God has the power to stop evil. Nigga, if God had the power to stop evil, and God's not stopping evil, have you considered that maybe your perception of what is your definition of evil may not be right? Or maybe evil is necessary to counterbalance good. Like, these are logical solutions. These are logical perspectives. But you can't approach people like that because they won't accept it. And they'll fight and they'll argue. Then they'll throw names. And then they'll call you names. Say you're delusional. Call you uneducated. What? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? That's why I like to go in there and just slap people around a little bit and just, it's stupid. I'd like to take the moral high ground. The intellectual high ground. I mean, I don't like bullies. I don't like intellectual bullies, so sometimes you gotta bully the intellectual bullies. I don't like to presuppose. What? Then what do you do? No, but what you do like to do is allow somebody else to dictate to you what reality is and is not. And then parrot it. And then parrot it like Polly. God. Alright. Whew, hot. I need some water. Coffee. God damn it.